is Felix Roy. I'm one of your 4 at-large city councilors, and I'm also a very proud Jamaica Plain resident. And mainly for a lot of the things Matt just said. It's a neighborhood full of activists, organizers, and there are no shortage of opinions, and it has made going to Purple Cactus for me an adventure. Some of you know who you are. I'll start by saying the first things I ever did as a resident of Jamaica Plain, as a way of giving back to the neighborhood that I live in and that I just professed to you that I love, was I decided I wanted to be a youth sports coach, and I coach youth baseball right here in the neighborhood. And as a matter of fact, one of the kids I coached, Xavier, is sitting right there in the second row. He's now a part of teen empowerment. I can't say he completely followed my lead because he's wearing a New York Yankee hat, which is really unbelievable to me right now. And I've been staring at it ever since I walked into the building. But that commitment has made me work even harder as an elected official for young people. And I wasn't going to talk about this, so I'll be very quick and say, in the last 2 budget cycles, there's been an attempt to cut summer jobs for young people. Both times that I've had to deal with the budget, our office was proud to play a leadership role, the chair of the Committee on Youth Affairs, to restore over 3,000 summer jobs in the last 2 years. I suspect there's going to be another attempt. I need Jamaica Plain to join us so that we make sure that they do not do that. It's terrible that on these budget cuts we find ourselves playing defense with such things as important as young people and their futures, but I know that with people in this room, if we continue to advocate and say that's important to us, then these young people in front will be able to count on having a job this summer, which is extremely important to them, and frankly, very important for many of the families that depend on those paychecks to come home. The next piece that I'll say very quickly is, some of you may know that I was a union organizer before I got elected to the Boston City Council. And in the end, it really is for me about fair and just working conditions where people are treated with respect and dignity, and maybe, just maybe, make enough money and have enough time to take care of their family. Maybe that's a possibility. One thing I need your help with is something very disgusting that we found out is happening right here in the city of Boston. Copley Marriott, one of the richest hotel chains in the world, is doing renovation work right now in the city of Boston. Boston is so good to that hotel that people come in droves to the city of Boston, visit the city, and give their money to that hotel to stay here while they do it. We found out by reading the Boston Globe on January 20th that there's an allegation that the Copley Marriott is bringing workers from a Philadelphia shelter and paying them less than minimum wage to do that renovation work. I stand here now to say that a bad economy is not an excuse to race to the bottom, and we will not stand for that. And as a city council, we've already started the process. We're going to be holding hearings on that issue to make sure that everybody follows labor laws here in our city. But even more important than that to me, you put the people who live in the city to work on those projects, and you treat them right. The last piece of work that we've been working on is something that I sound like a broken record on, but I'm going to keep pushing this for as long as I have the ability to say that I'm a member of the Boston City Council. And that is the Invest in Boston Ordinance. What does that say? What it means is, as a city of Boston, we have over $1 billion, with a B, $1 billion invested in banks today. Yeah, you know what banks they are. You know what we ask those banks? Is our money safe? What's the interest rate on it? And in an event of emergency, can we pull the money out? Those are all fine questions. You don't want us not to ask those questions. But you know what we don't use that money to do? We don't use that $1 billion to leverage investment in our community. We don't ask those banks, are you lending to small businesses in our city? Are you lending to homeowners in our city? Are you refinancing those exorbitant balloon interest rates of 12 and 15% and giving them the 5% the market's calling for now? Are you giving money to development projects right here in our city? Are you part of the foreclosure problem, or are you part of the foreclosure solution? We don't ask any of those questions until we give them $1 billion of your money. We don't ask if they're investing in the community where it came from. I filed an ordinance that when we passed it, says not only will we ask those questions, not only will we ask what your level of investment is in this city where that money came from, but the deposits, that $1 billion in deposits, will be given to the banks that invest the most in our community. I believe that right now, this year, we can pass that ordinance. I believe we can pass that. I believe the time is now to pass it. I believe the time is now to speak to this truth to these powers. These large banks can't keep getting away with what they've been getting away with. And frankly, if I were a billionaire, my money would go to the bank that was working in my interest. Well, the city of Boston is indeed a billionaire, and that money should go to the banks that are working in the interest of the community from where that money comes from. But I need your help to pass that. Thank you.